Hello, Drift fans, and welcome to the House of Drift, Irwindale Speedway. I'm Jared Deenda, and we're playing host to the final round of the 2018 Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. We're celebrating 15 years. It all began in 2004, and we've crowned many champions here at the House of Drift. We're going to crown one tonight. Who's it going to be? It's still up for grabs as we make our way into the top 16. James Dean, our #1 qualifier, he's in the hunt. Aasbo still sits in second. Peter Visick, he's coming off a victory in Texas at our previous round, and he won here last year. 4th and 5th, still up for grabs. Forsberg, Pawlak, they're out. Who's going to slide out? We're about to find out. Before we go to head-to-head action, though, I throw it to my co-host, Ryan Sage.
All right, well, thank you, Jared. I'm down here on the track at Irwindale Speedway, a track full of history as we've been coming here for over 15 years. And right over my shoulder is the emblematic bank. The bank where drivers are meant to get as close as they possibly can before they head into that inside clip, and then a second bank that wraps around to that final corner where drivers mash the throttle to try to compete and beat their competitors. And if they can do that, they might be on the podium here tonight. But before we get to all the action in the top 16, let's talk to some of our drivers and see what they think about this historic track.
There's something magical about this place. Irwindale has the biggest crowd that we see all year. Formula Drift sells out the place every year, and usually when you're in the car you can only hear your own engine and sometimes the opponent's engine, but here at Irwindale Speedway with all of the fans here up in the grandstands, you can hear them and feel them stomp their feet on the ground.
Undescribable how amazing this place is. It's one of those places that if you haven't been here and you're a drift fan, like this is got to be a bucket list place. You have to come here.
Yeah, coming back here to Irwindale, it's always the most insane event of the year.
It just elevates all the driving on the track in general. The drivers are at their absolute peak, the cars are at their peak, and everybody's just letting it all hang out on the track because it's the last event of the year. You're not going to fix it for the next weekend.
It's one of my favorite tracks of all time, and also definitely one of the most challenging tracks of all time. I think this is the track that you need to be 100% focused. The car needs to be good. The team needs to be working well. It's a really challenging event.
You need to be careful, you know. On this track, you got it, but it's easy for you. The track gonna punch you simply because those walls are hard, and they are just waiting for your mistakes. So they always need to remember that to respect this track.
Drifting is the only motorsport in the world that is based on judging, so let's break down how that works. In head-to-head battles, the lead driver is supposed to run a specific judging line with as much angle as possible. The lead driver is setting the pace, but the chase driver is supposed to utilize the lead driver as a moving clipping point. Wherever the lead goes, the chase should go too. After 2 runs with each driver leading once, the driver that was the most consistent, most aggressive, and was able to show clear dominance over the other driver will win the matchup. For rules, criteria, and more information on Formula Drift, head to www.formulad.com.
It's a beautiful evening here at the House of Drift, and the top 16 is set. Our first battle, this is a must-win for James Dean. He is your #1 qualifier. Can he make this a perfect event? Can he go back-to-back in the championship? First, he needs to get through Forrest Wang.
And Forrest Wang has been awaiting this battle all season long, trying to get one against James Dean. The 2 S15s kicking it off here in the top 16.
A lot of fans of both these drivers, but James Dean, the machine, quickly gets to the wall. Now Forrest Wang reeling him in. Very smooth approach to the side of the Wordhouse vehicle.
You can see the proximity up on the wall with James as now Forrest trying to attack down on the inside bank, keeping the pressure on. Here comes Forrest closing the door.
Textbook lead run from James Dean, but Forrest Wang is mimicking every move that the machine makes, Ryan.
Well, a great start there by both drivers, but James Dean once again laying down a clean lead run, making it tough for Forrest Wang, but now he'll get a chance as he takes the lead.
Forrest Wang just progressing through the years, and I gotta say, this is probably one of his strongest seasons ever. Makes his signature styles for miles approach, mix that with some horsepower, and look at that, already to the top of the bank. The machine, he is down mid-bank, Ryan.
Big mistake there by James Dean. You have to wonder where that came from. Now he's playing catch-up, but Forrest Wang out front laying down a smooth, clean lead run here all the way up against the wall.
Forrest Wang is dragging that Super Doof bumper along that second outer zone and brings it across the finish line.
Could this be the upset that Aasbo needs in his chase to the championship as we go on board here to see James Dean keeping the pressure on?
And just like that, Forrest Wang upsets the machine.
So I just battled James Dean, 2017 Formula Drift champ, in in the top 16 here in the final round of Irwindale. It's unbelievable for me right now to have beaten James. You know, I consider him the best drifter in the world, and it feels amazing.
Only one battle deep and plenty of tire to burn. More when we return to the House of Drift.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By Air Force. Aim high. By the Formula Drift app. Download the FD app in the iOS or Android store now. And by GoPro and the new Hero 7 Black. Shaky video is dead.
Welcome back. A peaked interest here on track for our next battle. It's a cold night, but we're about to heat it up with two drivers that qualified 8th and 9th. Let's turn on the lights and let's see him shred. Ken Gushi, a day one veteran, 15 years he's been competing. Al Conadale, quite a bit shorter than that, but still a threat and a force to be reckoned with.
Light goes off and Ken Gushi is out of the gate through the chicane here as Al Conadale tries to chase him down into the first corner.
The Goose throws it in, that 2JZ power Toyota 86. Al Conadale, the Rain-X S14. You can see him gaining some ground there, getting to the side of the 86. Gushi trying to gain some ground against Conadale.
A consistent line here for Gushi as he comes through that inside clip, now getting into the lower bank. Conadale starting to close the door here, but was it too much on the bank with that mistake that he made as Gushi wraps around the final inside clip?
Gushi in that signature white 86. Here's where Conadale gets to the side of him, but as soon as they transition that front clip, you can see how much distance is between the two drivers. Now Conadale will be out front, light up some necks and tires. Gushi in the chase position, light up his Falcons.
And Conadale initiating, but Gushi right behind him here, trying to maintain that line as Conadale just a little bit higher, but Gushi good proximity here at 79.7 miles per hour.
Yeah, they come off the bank into a flatter portion of the track, so tighter distance between the two drivers. Conadale dragging that back bumper on the wall. Gushi allowing himself some proximity here. Let's tighten it up to that final front clip. Ryan, boom, there it goes. Signature Al Conadale style. I don't know what it is about those bumpers, but he hates them.
To the outside here, as you can see on the inner bank, Al Conadale leading Ken Gushi through that inside clip, explodes it, and Gushi comes up a little bit short on that outside zone.
And there it is, Ken Gushi gets the win.
Kind of screwed up on my lead, so I had to push even harder on my chase. And I guess we got the win for that. I didn't really go through the run, so I don't really know what happened, but we just went really aggressive in the chase, and that was all it took.
Well, one Toyota moves on to the Great 8, and here is an all-Toyota battle. Frederick Aasbo, he is vying for the championship. With James Dean out, this is a must-win for Aasbo, and he's going against not only his Toyota teammate, but also his Papadakis Racing teammate of Jonathan Castro.
And every battle for Aasbo, if he loses, is a battle and a championship won for James Dean. So Aasbo, the pressure is on.
Frederick Aasbo, signature style, very good posture of that Toyota Corolla hatchback into that second outer zone. Castro giving himself a little bit of a buffer, but now gains that proximity.
Once again, Frederick Aasbo very consistent out front on his lead run. Great angle there to finish up, but Castro is not backing off. He's surging at moments on the course, especially right here on the big bank.
Yeah, there are no team orders here. Yes, they're both operated by Papadakis Racing. Yes, they're both Toyota, but it is winning here at an iconic track, Irwindale Speedway. Castro out front in that Jordo Metaldom Next and Tires Toyota Racing Toyota 86.
Right there, an early dive for Frederick Aasbo, but look at Castro high on the bank, 79.7 miles per hour. Once again, as he comes down off into that inside clip, but Aasbo chasing him down.
Aasbo brings it tighter. Oh, and you see a shimmy there from Aasbo. How is that going to be seen in the eyes of the judges? But he makes up for it with almost rubbing his tire on the door.
So Aasbo does make that little mistake, but you can see consistency played a major role throughout the majority of the run and the proximity towards the latter part.
And Frederick Aasbo, 2-1, gets the win.
I was so tense before that battle. I've never felt that way because they say that going up against your teammate is the hardest you can do because you both want to be the best. And it really is the hardest you can do because Castro's really been delivering today on track. He had the advantage after the first run. He really forced me to really put it out there. I've never had a chase run that composed on this track, and we won by the slightest of margins.
Well, the 2018 championship's still up for grabs, but right now it is Ryan Tuerck versus Dean Kearney. Dean Kearney firing on all 10 cylinders in his turbocharged Dodge Viper Oracle lighting on Achilles tires, and Ryan Tuerck in that Gummout Toyota Racing Toyota 86.
Here we go with Ryan Tuerck initiating, but look at Kearney already keeping the pressure on. Great line by Tuerck, but Kearney right there with him as he maxes out the angle at 82.4 miles per hour.
Both these guys showing some signs of greatness, transitioning past that front clip into the second outer zone. Good poise from both the drivers. You can see Dean Kearney lunging a little bit quicker. Ryan Tuerck, very smooth line.
Well, great job by Ryan Tuerck starting out strong in the lead position. We saw a minor mistake from Kearney on the inside bank, losing a little bit of angle there, so maybe advantage goes to Ryan Tuerck after run number 1.
All right, Dean Kearney, you can see the Oracle lights ablaze. Let's see if those Achilles tires go ablaze as they approach the big menacing wall here at the House of Drift.
Kearney initiates a little bit of understeer there, and now Ryan Tuerck follows suit. Both drivers having to get back on it here at 83.1 miles per hour.
Yeah, you saw some correction there from the 1552 wheels of Ryan Tuerck. Now past that front clip into the second outer zone. There is Kearney. Look at throwing some more angle at it, and Ryan Tuerck gained some ground, much needed.
Massive smoke line there by Kearney. As you can see, Ryan Tuerck navigates through. They push out wide there, and the run is over.
Almost got into a tussle there across the finish line. Look at Ryan Tuerck. You'd see him making some corrections here on the bank. You see him gaining some ground, but is it enough? Going to the judges, and Dean Kearney gets the win.
We followed him on the first run, and he had actually more grip than I anticipated, and he was able to gap us like by half a car length on the start of the bank, and then we reeled him in after that. Then we stayed exactly consistent all the way, and then on my lead run I just went out and I tried to do the 100-point lead run, just stuck it on the wall all the way around the big bank and threw it in on the bottom super hard, and yeah, it stuck and made it work.
The luck of the Irish is on Dean Kearney's side. Will it be on James Dean as well? More when we return.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Nexen Tire, driving tomorrow. By Achilles Radio, tires you can trust. And by Falcon Tires.
Welcome back to a packed house here at Irwindale, California. 15 years of Formula Drift. Ryan, we've been banging away since 2004. This is where drifting all began in the United States, and now we continue with an all-international affair. Bakchis, who's been campaigning a car for some time, going against Peter Visick, who won here last year and qualified second here this weekend.
And in grand fashion nonetheless, capping off the 2017 season with the win, trying to do it here again as his partner James Dean is out, but Bakchis is in the way with the pressure on the big bank.
Bakchis, that Falcon Tire, max oil drifts, wheels, field suspension, S14.5. He talked about his horsepower difference, but right now he has just become one of the best chasers in the business, and he's going against somebody who's really come on strong, Peter Visick.
Visick losing the rear light there on the inner bank, and look from on board the GoPro Hero 7 as Bakchis is maxing out the proximity through that inside clip.
The question is, can Peter Visick match the chase job that Bakchis just threw down through the start chicane? We got a clean start, Ryan.
Well, the craziness continues to ensue here as both drivers initiate. Peter Visick not following the line and making some adjustments as is blazing at 84.8 miles per hour.
Yeah, you saw Peter Visick shimmying his way up that bank. Bakchis a lot more poised, but now Peter Visick is looking a lot more controlled here on that second outer zone, approaching that final clip and across the finish line, Ryan.
Well, both drivers exchanging blows here, going back and forth, driving through the smoke line, but which driver came out on top in the eyes of the judges?
Let's go to the judges, and here we go. And Bakchis, 2-1, gets the win.
I just had to pull every trick up my sleeve to make my car faster, and I truly felt like we had a slightly faster car. And I just pulled, everything I could, made my car a little difficult to drive, but that's what it took to push fast and stay on his door.
Moving on to our next battle, coincidentally, both these guys running Ford power plants. Matt Coffman behind the wheel and under the hood of a Nissan 240SX. Vaughn Gittin Jr. behind the wheel of his Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR. Vaughn Gittin Jr. has had some success here over the years. Can he do it again?
Big jump right there by Vaughn, getting a huge gap out of the gate. Coffman now having to play catch-up here as Vaughn on that mid-high line, crossing down through that inside clip with Coffman still playing catch-up.
You can see the big filter sticking out of the hood. That's that Ford power plant. The Achilles tires gaining some grip and gaining some ground against Vaughn past that final front clip. Ryan, massive angle there from Vaughn.
Well, Vaughn is on record saying that this has not been the greatest year for him, but from this driving in his lead run right here, you can certainly see that the car has a lot of grip and power.
Matt Coffman gets the jump there. It is a clean start here, rocketing outside of that chicane. And look at another big gap here, Ryan.
And now Gittin's playing catch up, but he's starting to reel him in here. As you can see, Coffman mid-high line as well, 82 miles per hour.
Let's see how they handle that transition. Big angle there from Coffman. Vaughn, look at that. You see they exchange some paint and some bumpers being shredded off here into that second outer zone, Ryan.
Well, that transition was incredible by both drivers, just scraping the bumpers there, and now a lot of proximity towards the end.
Well, you can see right here, Matt Coffman maxing out that angle. That allowed Vaughn Gittin Jr. to get close. You saw the contact. That could have gone a different direction, but right now, Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the win.
It's always electric, it's always epic. So to be here, celebrating 15 years, moving on to the Grade 8, I'm just pumped. You know, we've had a really, really rough season this year, and I think, you know, we've been back in our form the last couple rounds. So I'm looking forward to having a good, clean weekend, no failures, and getting back up on that podium.
Pretty awesome to see all these veterans here in this top 16. Daijiro Yoshihara, one of them, going against Tuerck Stratton. Tuerck Stratton, this is his rookie year, and he is your Formula Drift 2018 Rookie of the Year in the Drift Vet. Yoshihara out front.
Well, the original generation versus the new generation here as Tuerck Stratton starting to close the door on Daijiro Yoshihara, tapping the wall there at 80.8 miles. Oh, and a big shutdown there.
Yeah, you see a major correction there from Tuerck Stratton there from Ohio. Yoshihara keeps his composure, brings it tight to that second outer zone. Looks like Tuerck Stratton did lose some. Oh, and now looks like they are exchanging some body paint, and look at that little fire. Insult to injury.
Wow, a big point of contact there. Let's take a look at it as we come down on the inside bank there. Tapping Daijiro Yoshihara twice is Tuerck Stratton.
Well, it looks like it was purely cosmetic. Both of them are back on the track, ready to shred. Here goes Tuerck Stratton, that Lingenfelter Achilles tire Corvette.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him, Tuerck Stratton, that is. Oh, and he taps the wall again, and that might be enough. Daijiro Yoshihara playing it safe, not sticking super close, and now he's trying to close the door, but he knows that he has a big advantage here against Tuerck Stratton.
Yeah, well, Stratton knows who he's going against. He knows all the history that Yoshihara has with this track. He is one of those 4 drivers that's been competing here since 2004. So these guys have the most amount of turns and burns here on this track, and there you see, bang, he hits the wall. Yoshihara makes a quick little correction, and you have to assume the needle is going to go the way of Daijiro Yoshihara. And there it is, it's unanimous. Dai gets the win.
I basically try to stick with him the whole time. You know, he made a different line here and there, so it was hard for me to like stick there the whole time. But majority of the time I was having a decent distance, so I think that was the reason why I moved on to top 8.
Formula Drift on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Black Magic. Own your shine. By NOS with Complex 6 for high performance energy. By Nitto Tire, fueled by enthusiasts. And by GoPro and the new Hero 7 Black. Shaky video is dead.
Well, the final battle of the top 16 is upon us. Michael Essa, he's seen a championship culminate for him here. It will not happen today, going against Chelsea Denofa. He's in his sophomore season behind the wheel of a Ford Mustang, and he's had a 3rd place finish earlier this year in St. Louis. Can he do it again? Here we go. Michael Essa out front, Chelsea Denofa in the chase position.
Essa through the chicane here, and look at Denofa sticking right with him side by side, initiating together already, maximizing proximity, but look at Essa nice and high on the bank, staying close to the wall.
Essa very smooth with his approach, and it looks like Chelsea Denofa just chomping at the bit in that BC Racing Nitto Tire Mustang RTR, that Driftline BMW. You can see him sticking it to the wall there. Denofa mirroring him, looking like a purple shadow.
Denofa almost too quick here against Michael Essa. Essa was smooth and consistent out front. Denofa maximized the proximity at certain areas of the course, but had to back off as he was getting too close and may have made contact with Michael Essa.
All right, let's alternate positions. Gotta love the flare there from Chelsea Denofa with the purple lights, but it's all about line, angle, and style. Here we go, Chelsea Denofa out front. Michael Essa gained some ground on that Driftline Achilles tire BMW.
And you can see Denofa here, mid-low line coming off the bank. Essa taking advantage of it, trying to keep the proximity strong, but now Chelsea Denofa, big angle, and Michael Essa makes a mistake and now is playing catch-up. Oh, and he taps the wall with Essa making a big mistake. This could be enough for Chelsea Denofa.
Well, Denofa keeps it between the lines. Unfortunately for Essa, you saw him push hard. He had some great proximity on the transition, but when he goes in that second outer zone, he hits the wall, straightens out. That means all signs are gonna say Chelsea Denofa gets the win.
I went really well. We went out against Michael Essa. I got the chase first, and I just stayed within 3 feet of him for the entire bank. Had a couple corrections because I was so close, that I was having to kind of keep it from smashing into him the whole bank. Transition, gave him a little gap across inner one, and then going into inner two, closed the gap, right back on his door the entire run. And then the lead run was pretty solid. I was happy with it, and they ended up giving me the win.
And here it is. These are the drivers that are going to be seen here at the Great 8 at the House of Drift. Some usual suspects, some newcomers. We got Forrest Wang. He's going to be hanging loose. Ken Gushi, the OG in his Toyota 86. Frederick Aasbo, the championship, still up for grabs. Dean Kearney, the luck of the Irish, it's on his side. Odie Bakchis fighting tooth and nail. An FD veteran, Slide or Daijiro Yoshihara. And then the Mustang Bros, Mustang RTR, Chelsea Denofa, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. Not only are we going to find out who gets the win here at the infamous House of Drift of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, but we'll find out who is your champion. Will it be Frederick Aasbo, the Norwegian Hammer, upsetting James Dean, or is he going to go back-to-back? Find out on the next installment of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship.